You are now watching We Talkin' Sports.
Hey, welcome back. We Talkin' Sports.
Hello.
Glad to be here and glad you could join us. So let's go ahead and dive right in. We Talkin' Sports. And we're going to start off with the NBA like we usually do. And I have breaking news for you. Okay? These Cavaliers can be a problem this year. And I mean, not a problem like they're a basketball team with a problem. They can be a problem in the NBA for their opponents. And they have a lineup that they've been using, which is a really big lineup. And it's like unconventional for today's NBA because their lineup involves 3 7-footers. So, you know, you coming out with Jared Allen at the center, Evan Mobley at the 4, and you got Lauri Markkanen at the 3. And, you know, they've been running that these past couple of games in preseason, and it's causing issues for teams.
We want taco. Hold on, we got somebody calling in. Go ahead, We Talking Sports. Run that past us one more time.
This is D-Jack.
Hey, D-Jack, just in time. Yeah, I just gave some breaking news, and I'll go ahead and repeat that. So the Cavs' big lineup is a problem, okay? And when I say it's a problem for the NBA. So these past couple of preseason games, the lineup that they've been running out is Jared Allen at the center, Evan Mobley, the rookie, at the 4, and then they put Lauri Markkanen at the 3.
We want taco.
And the fans love taco. But you got a lineup with 3 7-footers. And let me tell you what really makes this lineup a problem. When you come with your backcourt of Darius Garland and Isaac Okoro, who up to this point has been playing the 3, but at the end of the day, he's just better as a shooting guard. He's better at the 2. So that's a nice size lineup, and it causes problems for other teams. And then off of that, you come off the bench, or this is what you should do. You should come off the bench with Colin Sexton, Ricky Rubio, and Kevin Love. And that's your 8. That's your 8 players that get regular minutes. And, of course, based off of matchups and how a guy is playing in a particular night, that should be your core. So, having said that, the elephant in the room is, I said, Colin Sexton coming off the bench.
Why is that an elephant in the room?
Well, because it's been a topic of debate since he's been here, and you know I've even in last week's show, I said that Colin Sexton is a shooting guard in a point guard's body, but so it's important that when you put him on the floor, you pair him up in the backcourt with somebody that's bigger. They can guard 2s because Colin is capable of guarding 1s. And speaking of Colin,
like AI without the talent.
Yeah. Not yet, right. But you know, talent. They protected AI with Eric Snow.
True. Okay.
So, you know, again, you got to have somebody to protect that guy. So, an anonymous scout said some not so nice things about Colin Sexton this week. And I'm actually just going to read to you what this anonymous scout said.
Put a name on it.
I think Colin Sexton is a backup and an asshole. None of his teammates like him. I like Garland. I actually like Garland. I think he plays hard. He puts pressure on you because he can shoot, he can pass, and he's a much more willing passer. He's not out there trying to fucking get his stats and go home in the same way that Sexton is. And, you know, that report or that article was published by Bleacher Report. Now, I hate the anonymous scout thing. I hate that.
That was sassy. And I'm going to go ahead and say
it was disrespectful, too. It's disrespectful. You don't have to come at a guy like that.
You know, we're all I don't want to say we're all grown men because you're anonymous, but we all adults here, man. Put a name on it.
Right.
We in a public space, and if you can't put a name on it, then maybe you should watch what you say.
Right. And actually, I question if Bleacher Report should even be publishing stuff like that. Because, I mean, who wants to go with anonymous?
My problem with that is I want to question the credibility just because you did say anonymous, but if it wasn't a credible source, I don't think they would be the company to put it out. You know what I'm saying? Because of their reputation.
No. I agree. Like, I'm sure Bleacher Report didn't make that up. I'm sure somebody that we all know said that. Again, I just don't like the whole anonymous thing.
Yeah, that's kind of.
And you know what the funny thing about it though is, the only one that came to his defense was Larry Nance Jr. He's not even on the team anymore.
What if it was Larry Nance Jr.? He's covering for himself.
Right. What you got on that, DJ?
I don't know. I don't even. I probably don't agree with nothing I've heard so far. Like I don't agree with that lineup. I don't agree with those players. I don't agree with that report. So I don't know. I just really. It's one of those things where if you don't have nothing positive to say, just really don't say nothing. So that's just
well, really, everything I was saying was positive. And again, give Colin Sexton his extension. Sign him to an extension. But the key to because the Cavs are at a point as an organization where they have to start assigning roles to these players. You can't just roll guys out there and let them play based off of where they were drafted. And that lineup that I mentioned earlier, with a backcourt of Darius Garland and Isaac Okoro, Lauri Markkanen at the 3, Evan Mobley at the 4, Jared Allen at the 5. I've seen them. They've played 2 games with that lineup now, and it creates problems. Then you come off the bench, and your backcourt becomes Ricky Rubio and Colin Sexton. So there's not like a real drop-off of that. And guess who else is playing well so far? And I'm saying so far because I know it's just the preseason.
Oh, here we go.
Kevin Love. Kevin Love has looked good in the limited playing time. He's playing about in the preseason. He's played 10 to 15 minutes. They were saying in the regular season he'll be playing about 20, maybe 23 to 25 minutes a game. But in the limited time he's been out there so far in the preseason, he looks good. He looks good. And what I mean by he looks good is he's clearly the grown-up in the room in terms of he's a very intelligent player. He can still shoot. He can pass.
But he's starting, right?
No, he's coming off the bench.
He's coming off the bench? Okay,
Yeah.
but he's at that point in his career for real.
Right.
Where it's like, okay, but I feel like when we, not to jump to back topics, when we get back to the Colin Sexton starting over Ricky Rubio, let's not get disrespectful. Like, I feel like that would be, I feel like he should be coming off the bench for Rubio. Like, that's how it's supposed to be.
He should. But, with these guys, a lot of times it's about ego. And is somebody in the Cavs organization?
Hold on. You said Colin Sexton should be coming off the bench over Ricky Rubio?
Yeah, yes, sir. I did say that.
Why? I mean, Ricky Rubio has probably never averaged 11 points a game.
Well, he has.
So why would
he's averaged more than that?
So why would 11.6? Like why would Colin Sexton, who is clearly a better basketball player than any player you just mentioned in this whole conversation, why would he be the dude to come off the bench? That's the part that I just don't understand. Like, okay, so why I'm appalled is because if you look at all the reports of Colin Sexton, the players don't like him, this, that, and third. It's always somebody saying that. And so, like, to me,
so it makes you think there's some type of merit to it. It makes me feel there's
zero merit to it. It makes me think it's zero merit to it because I've lived in this media where they pick a guy and say, hey, we're going to get this guy out of town. Now, in my opinion,
it's not about
they do that because they don't want to win.
It's not about
they do that because they do that because they don't want to win. Because there is nobody that you've mentioned in this whole conversation that is a winning basketball player. Maybe Kevin Love during the time with LeBron, but there's nobody there that's a winning basketball player. In college, nobody knew none of these dudes' names in college. In the pros, none of them has done nothing. And so out of all of these dudes that you just mentioned, there's only one that is proven that he can play in this game,
Ricky Rubio
and that's
came
the
from
dude
Spain.
that everybody said that he's a what do you
Played
say? He's a
international
fucking
basketball
idiot.
since he was 14.
That's what I'm saying. Like Ricky Rubio didn't go to college here. He came from Spain.
And he's played
Who
international
you talking
basketball since he was
Ricky
14.
Rubio. I heard of Ricky Rubio on Sports Illustrated way before he even was playing in America.
So you are really saying that because the Cavs have added Ricky Rubio, what?
So it's
They've
about
added
having a
Ricky
floor
Rubio and
general.
what?
It's about having a floor general and somebody that can run your offense. It's not about how many points you average for your career or anything like that. And again, not saying that Colin Sexton isn't a good player, but he's not a pure point guard. You don't want Colin Sexton as your point guard.
So let's name the good teams in the NBA. Let's name the good teams in the NBA. Are any of those dudes that you just do what you saying sound anything like one of the good teams in the NBA? Let's say the good teams are, let's say Golden State. They're probably 4 or 5, something like that. The dudes that you mentioned would not even play on none of those teams.
That has nothing to do with the point. That has nothing to do. It's about the Cavaliers and working with the players that they have. Golden State doesn't factor into this.
But I guess my point is that if the Cavs were to be a playoff contending basketball team, none of those dudes that you mentioned would be part of this team. So what they're doing right now, in my opinion, is they are just playing high school freshman basketball, just to see, okay, which one of y'all dudes can go to the big league. And so maybe a Jared Allen could. I doubt it, but maybe a Jared Allen could. We know Taco Fall. The fact that you are even mentioning that the fans want Taco Fall, a light bulb doesn't go off from that.
We're not talking about Taco Fall. He's a novelty act. I mean, we know what he is. This isn't about Taco Fall. That's why I said the elephant in the room.
Like, do you really think that Isaac Okoro one day is going to be somebody that is going to have a commercial, a tennis shoe? Somebody's going to say,
it doesn't matter.
Oh, man, you got to match up with Isaac Okoro.
It doesn't matter.
When them Taco Fall 7s come out, I better not see if you with a pair of them. I went to the bathroom. I didn't hear everybody talking spicy. All I heard was somebody say something spicy about Taco Fall, so I had to come back. I ain't even finished.
At the end of the day, the Cleveland Cavaliers, to be honest, the Cleveland Cavaliers are not even worthy of a conversation right now. They're probably going to be the worst team in basketball.
So
and
that's the point that's the reason that I brought it up, and that's why I led with it, because the point is
let me say my last point. Let me just say my last point. In my opinion, and I'll say it's me, the only thing that you are trying to get out of this season is you're trying to turn the coach into an NBA coach. That's it. You got a coach who has some NBA pedigree, and you hope that with him and the front office, that in 3, 4, 5 years they can develop into a basketball team after they go to the lottery for the next 2, 3 years. But if you think that this basketball team right now is going to be anything as far as a good basketball team, you are sadly mistaken. And I don't know how you can.
I think, and again, this is why I led with it. I think I called it the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is Colin Sexton, and the organization.
What does that mean?
It means that the organization needs to convince him, and somebody needs to have the kahunas, Kobe Altman, to let him know, yeah, we value you in this organization. We're going to sign you to an extension, but your best role is going to be coming off the bench.
No, after we pay you, you do what we tell you to.
Exactly.
And I'm going to be honest with you.
Exactly.
I'm not looking for them to be good. Give me a reason to sit on the couch and give you 2 hours of my life. That's all I'm asking you for. I'm not asking you to win.
I call out the elephant in the room because if they solve that issue, the Cavs can contend for a playoff spot. And I'm telling you that now.
And that's all I want.
I've seen these guys. Yeah, I've seen these guys. I've watched every preseason. When I missed the second preseason game, but I've seen every other preseason game. Colin Sexton actually hasn't played these last couple of games because they were saying he had a shoulder injury. So you got an opportunity to see what they look like with a backcourt of Darius Garland and Isaac Okoro. And I'm telling you,
Just let me
with those other
just let me
7
understand
footers.
what you're saying. When you said they have a chance to contend for a playoff spot, you're talking about this year, like this basketball
Absolutely.
season right now.
Absolutely. Just watch.
Come on.
How many preseason games did you watch?
Yeah, no, you earned this.
How many preseason games did you watch? 'Cause I told you I only missed one of them. I only missed one.
I'm waiting for the next segment, bro. If we talking about the Cavaliers have a chance to get a playoff spot, I'm waiting for the next segment.
Okay, that's your opinion. I stated my opinion, and we'll just move forward because at the end of the day, the NBA season starts next week.
Yeah.
And someone's gonna be right, and D-Jack, you will be proven to be wrong. So
Right.
moving on, still in the NBA, Kyrie Irving, who still, as far as I know, isn't vaccinated, but he did release some Instagram live videos. But what did he say? I mean, what is there, 3 videos, maybe 3 minutes each? But what do we know now that we didn't know before he released those videos? Does anyone know?
I'm aware of them. I watched some of them, and if we had all the time in the world, I would play the clips because he's basically just reiterating himself in different videos.
It's rhetoric. It's just rhetoric. It's rhetoric. What did he really say?
All right. It's basically he's unsure about the shot in itself, and he's not ready to take it. And I'm going to be honest with you, outside of basketball, I kind of respect it. Like, you exercising your
I'm
rights.
fine. If you don't want to take the vaccine, and that also means you don't want to play in the NBA, I'm fine with that. We just at the point where it's like, okay, shit or get off the pot. You know what I'm saying? Because we all have had to pivot through this pandemic and do things that we didn't plan on doing. We had to make decisions on the fly. And it's just like, how many months do you have to take to decide whether or not you're going to take the vaccine? I mean, those are your options. Take it and play, or don't take it and don't play.
What is he? I guess that's my thing. Like, I respect his decision. I respect his right.
He hasn't made a decision as far as I'm concerned.
Hey.
We thought he made a decision, but then he do these Instagram lives and say, I'm not retiring and I'm not going to miss the NBA. And it's just like, I'm not going to not play in the NBA. It's like, okay. You know, it's just.
I'm looking for. Look, you know what I look at right now for Kyrie? No matter what it is, vaccination aside, right now I'm looking at how many games throughout career was Kyrie supposed to play versus how many he actually played due to whatever reason.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's where I'm at. I respect his decision and what he did, but to me, man, it just seems like another excuse for you not to play. He's like I told you earlier, he's like Gucci, man, before he went to prison. Like, you could be so much, but you just can't stay on the court.
Right.
Just like
right.
Gucci.
It's always something.
Yeah.
Always something.
I think Kyrie is the epitome of what you call privilege. He is somebody who, you know, what sports is supposed to be is it's supposed to be, you know, basically do anything for your brother. Like, hey, I say I would die out there on the court. So if you are that invested in winning the championship, so remember he made the famous thing that LeBron, he wanted, if KD is a motherfucker, that he would want to take that last shot. So
Right.
Kyrie, so he makes it seem like in that statement that, yeah, you know, I really want to win basketball games at all costs, and I didn't feel comfortable with LeBron, so now I got this motherfucker that I feel takes the last shot. So he says a lot, but he really, just like you said, he really says nothing.
Right.
In my opinion, all Kyrie says is, look at me. The news is going on, and I see him talking about Durant. I see him talking about LeBron. I see him talking about Carmelo Anthony. I want y'all to talk about me. And I think that what he misses is, what he doesn't understand is that, bruh, your profession is basketball player. The end. Like, if you were a professor, nobody would know your name. I get it. You have a lot of opinions.
Right.
If you were a author that wrote books, nobody would know your name. I get it. You have a good opinion, and maybe your word is true. But what you do is play professional basketball. Now, you can play a career and then go into something else, but what you're best at is basketball. And just like
And
I
by the
think
way,
Lil
he's an
Sherman
amazing
just said,
player.
I don't even think that it's about him playing basketball more than I think it's about him just wanting that attention. He just wants to have his name out there, and I think that's his problem. So
If I was the
you have an
Brooklyn Nets, I would
opportunity-
move on, man.
Yeah, I would too.
Toxic. He has a
Because
history of toxic.
if you have an opportunity to win a championship and you are not showing up for practice for whatever reason, then, I mean, it's not like they're saying, hey, put a gun to your head and see if the chamber is empty when you click it. They're saying take a vaccine that most people in the country have taken.
Right.
So you don't want to play basketball. He doesn't want to go through the grind of an 82 season and, however many games in the playoffs to win a championship. In my opinion, he doesn't want that. He just wants to be the most popular trending person in sports. That's how I look at it.
It's like he thinks he's
Smarter than everybody.
speaking up for an unrepresented group or something.
In a
Like
sense,
the
he
people.
is. But it's not. They're not on the same level, but in a sense,
it's like,
they are.
are you really representing that group? Because that group, the decisions they make are impact whether they can put food on the table. You can make your decision and say, no, I'm not going to play, but you can still put food on the table based off your shoe sales, how long you've been in the league, the money you've made. So are you really representing them?
See, I think we're underthinking.
Are you Muhammad, Kyrie? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. I don't know.
This is what it is. See, you gotta think like Kyrie. Kyrie thinks he's smarter than everybody.
Definitely.
what
I've
he's
always felt like
he's
that.
like this. Look, you know what? I'm gonna sit at the house. I'm gonna let James and Durant make it to the playoffs, and I'm gonna magically get vaccinated. Both shots in one day with the booster, and then I'm gonna come back with the booster, and then I'm gonna win the playoffs, and I'm gonna get the ring and be the MVP and still be healthy.
Right. Well, you know what? Maybe that is his plan. Maybe that is his plan, But,
because to me, it's like a slap in the face. Because
it is.
you got people out here that really are, having to deal with, do I want to get vaccinated or not?
And having to make,
Kyrie is about to make $16 million by not being vaccinated.
They're not paying him.
well, so and again,
No, he does. He gets paid for the away
for
game.
the games that he could. Like the Nets have said, we don't want you here if you can't be full time. But because they're telling him he can't play in the away games, but because he's willing to play in the NBA game in the away game,
Right.
the NBA has to pay him for those games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he would get half of his salary basically. So it's like, yeah, you're not in the same situation as the guy that works for such and such
Amazon.
hospital or
that works at Amazon that makes $15 an hour, but he can't go to work unless he gets vaccinated.
Right.
Which means that he loses health insurance.
Right.
He loses all of those types of things
Yep.
because he refused to go to work. That's not Kyrie's situation.
Right.
You get to get $16 million and be on the news, be trending on the news every day.
Right.
And to me, that's where he is. That's why I have a problem with what he's doing. I have a huge problem with what he's doing because he's entitled.
Right.
He's privileged.
Yeah,
And
he's a
everybody
narcissist,
like that.
man. He's a narcissist.
Yeah.
Remember when Kyrie thought the world was flat and they did that interview with him?
I think again he just wanted the attention.
Yeah.
I think he just wanted the attention.
That reporter gave Kyrie every chance to fix that situation. He said, "Hey, Kyrie, is the world flat?" Yes. He's like, are you sure? Like, really, really sure? I want you to really think about it. Is the world flat? Yes.
So
That's
So
how I knew.
I will
I'll
tell
tell you
you,
what.
I was with Kyrie with that, and not that I
Oh,
think
shit.
that the world was flat, and I don't even think that Kyrie thinks that the world was flat. That was my opinion at the time. My opinion at the time was that Kyrie is saying that everything that we know, somebody told us. Like we just accept a lot, and we don't really ever have proof. And I guess that's his point with this vaccine. Like we're just saying, hey, shoot it in my arm because they said so. So I do get what he's saying as far as that is concerned, but still, at the end of the day,
you have to get vaccinated to
You
travel
are-
to other countries.
you are-
And I'm not talking about the COVID. I'm just talking about even prior to that. There are requirements, vaccination requirements to travel internationally. So you mean to tell me he's never taken a vaccine?
No, he's taking them because he's in school. He went to public schools.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So it's just like, what's the point? But you know what?
Well,
we could beat this up all day. Because Kyrie is perplexing.
Before we move on, dog. Before we move on, let me just ask. Let me bring something else up, though. So let's talk about Andrew Wiggins, though.
For what?
So Andrew Wiggins talked about that it was against religion for him, and now all of a sudden he changed his stance. Why did he change his stance? Did his religion?
No, he came out and said that he realized that basically if I want to play in the NBA, he said I felt forced to take the vaccine if I wanted to play in the NBA. And you are correct, sir. If you want to play in the NBA, you'll get vaccinated. So, yeah, that's why he changed his position. And again, to be honest with you, I'm going to say this right here today.
Oh, snap.
I believe Kyrie is going to change his mind, too.
Yes, I told you right at the playoffs.
Oh, no.
Wait to the playoffs.
At some point, but it may be the playoffs. But at some point, Kyrie's going to get vaccinated, and he'll be playing.
I don't think that. I don't think
so. You think he's getting ready to sit out? You think he's sitting out the whole season?
I think that he is going to. I think it's going to be either within the next couple of weeks. He's either going to be vaccinated, he's either going to be traded, or he's going to sit out the season. But I don't think that any team is going to say, "Okay, we're going to just wait until." Like, let's say if in March he all of a sudden says, "Hey, y'all, I see we got the best record in the NBA. I want to get vaccinated." I don't think they're going to let him do that. I hope they don't.
I think they will.
I think it will.
You think they want?
That's Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving. That's who we talking about. He good enough.
That wouldn't make you mad.
Off.
That would turn me off to the NBA if they allowed that.
I think he'll get it off. Like I say, I'm not sure when he's going to do it. Whether he waits to the postseason or wait till the season's halfway over. But I believe we will see Kyrie this season.
And let's not forget, we're talking about a millionaire. He might end up paying somebody to pencil whip a card for him. That's what I would do.
Okay, so hey, let's go ahead and try and wrap this NBA segment up and get off Kyrie because, like I said, he's so perplexed, and we could talk about him for hours. So Ben Simmons update.
So what is? Yeah, that's what I want to hear you talk about. That's what I want to hear you talk about.
That's a crazy. It's a tripped out situation, but I still believe he will be moved. Let's say before the trade deadline. I still think Ben Simmons will be moved. What do you think?
Something. This is a wait and see for me. I have no idea. Like to me, I don't know why Doc Rivers would want him. Now, if Doc Rivers
think they want each other.
Him, yeah. So that's what I'm thinking.
That's what I'm saying. This is Daryl Morey. This is Daryl Morey and him trying to play hardball with Rich Paul. Yes, it is. Because let me tell you something.
Well,
if Ben Simmons had 2 years on his contract and not 4 years, he would have been traded by now. Because Daryl Morey is playing hardball and he's making a statement that he feels is representing the owners saying, look, you can't have 4 years on your contract left and then try and play hardball with us about you don't want to report and you want to be traded. When you got a year left or maybe 2 years, which James Harden did, because it was a stretch for James Harden last year because he had 2 years left on his contract. And that does matter from a leverage standpoint in what you can force on your NBA franchise.
So I kind of look at it, and I'm glad you brought that up because I look at it now. I get your point with the years, and I don't know about that, so I'm not talking about that. But I guess I'm looking at it as this time last year, the same situation was happening with James Harden, and then this time last year, all of a sudden James Harden reported, and then this time last year, James Harden got traded. So I'm looking at the Ben Simmons situation as the same thing.
Yep,
you got a whole off season. I hate y'all. Y'all hate me. Then all of a sudden, hey, kumbaya, we all about to play. And then next thing you know, you at another team.
Right. It definitely ain't kumbaya, though. It definitely ain't kumbaya. This is business.
So the reason why I say that I couldn't wait for you to talk about it is because I kind of now believe that Ben Simmons to the Cavs is a possibility. I don't think it's a good idea for either, but I do think it's a good idea for Philly. But I do think it's a possibility. I guess my best case scenario.
Whoa. Let's back up just a second. You said, but see, this is the thing. This is the sticking point. And again, I do believe that is still a possibility, but this is the sticking point. So the Sixers want established players. They don't want draft picks. The only established player we have is Colin Sexton, but we do have future draft picks. So right now, what I believe is happening is they're trying to find another player who could help Philly right now, and the team is willing to accept draft picks. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And because, everybody again thinks the Cavs aren't going to win a bunch of games, so it'll be a high draft pick. But not every franchise is in a position where they want a draft pick. Like Philly don't want draft picks. They want players that can help them win a championship right now. But there's another disgruntled star out there, and there's another team that will want them, and that's who they're trying to figure out right now. But look,
I would love with the Cavs though.
Let me say this, man. Let me say this. The NBA starts next week, kicks off next week on Tuesday. I'm gonna say this for like the 100th time. The NBA was the first reality show, so we could talk about this for hours. But I would be remiss if we did not dive into the NFL and the whole John Gruden email situation. And for those,
Damn it, John.
And you know what? We talked about this last week. And when we talked about it at the time, it was about the John Gruden emails where he, made comments about DeMaurice Smith's lips. And I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Obviously, we know right now there was more to it. And it is a big deal. And for those that aren't aware, just to back up for just a moment and explain what happened, the Washington football team, formerly the Washington Redskins, are currently under a federal probe. A lot of women complained about it being a toxic environment. There's issues with the organization giving prescription painkillers to players without the prescription. So it's a lot going on with that organization right now.
Throw the whole damn team away. Throw the whole damn team out.
Right, Dan Snyder. Oh man. But as a result of this probe, they were going through emails, throwing shade, 1,000 emails.
Right,
and they're saying,
I know where you're going. I feel the same way.
The only one that had anything in him was John Gruden's. Really?
That's bullshit.
Who was he sending them emails to? Himself?
This is how I feel about that whole situation. To me, that whole situation stinks. Okay, so I am definitely against a racist. But out of 650,000 emails, the only person that you point the finger at is one person. And what makes it so bad is, okay, think about you are the Raiders. You're the Raiders. Like, you're not the Washington Redskins. So this is not your investigation, but they take away your coach. You were 3-0. You were 3-0 before this story dropped.
He caught a stray.
No. They were 3-1. They were 3-1. They were 3-1.
No.
No, they were 3-1.
They were 3-1.
They were 3-1.
Okay, because he coached the one game. So this is
they were 3-2 when he left. They were 3-2 when they left, and I'm saying that only because they had lost to the Chargers earlier. Before the story even broke, they lost to the Chargers, so they were 3-1.
Right.
That man caught a stray bullet when he was down. He caught a stray.
But my whole thing is like, okay, you are investigating in the Washington football team, yet you have just flat out destroyed my team. If I'm Mark, what's his name? Mark
Bruce
Davis,
Allen?
right?
Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, yeah.
Yeah. If I'm Mark Davis, I'm like, now release all that shit. Everybody going down.
Right, but they don't want to do that.
Dallas Cowboys.
They don't
Everybody know I love the Dallas Cowboys, but shit, you tell me that Jerry ain't sent an email? And I love Dallas. So
Hey, you know what? I'm so glad you said that, and I didn't have to. I'm glad it came from
Y'all
you.
the worst.
I'm
I'm
glad
ride or
it
die
came
for the Browns. I'm riding. Let me find out there's an email. I'm downplaying everything.
Oh, Jimmy Haslam had nothing to do with that email string.
I'm like, yeah, he was drunk. He didn't mean that.
But at the end of the day, man, you're going to take away my head football coach. I ain't got nothing to do with what's going on with the Raiders. I mean, with the Redskins. You're just going to just destroy my team.
So
now
I just want to put what you're saying in perspective. So John Gruden was sending those emails to Bruce Allen, who at the time was the general manager of the Washington football team. What was his reply to those emails? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They weren't blank. There had to be an LOL in there somewhere.
Exactly.
LMAO or something.
Yeah, what we saying? Hey, John, don't talk like that.
Right.
You know
oh, John, you're a trip, right?
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
John tripping again.
So you gonna just tear my whole organization down? We just moved to Las Vegas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that whole thing stinks. When I saw
it does. I don't know.
That
maybe Gruden got some gambling debts or something. I don't know.
Yeah, when they said they did a search for the words that John Gruden said, he was the only one that came up. Like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Like, you are really.
You need a basis to find something to search with.
Are we really supposed to believe
that? I'm almost insulted that you thinking that I'm gonna believe it.
Right.
And it's just about to just go away. If I'm John Gruden and if I'm the Raiders, I ain't letting this shit just fall right here.
Man, they need to get Kyrie on this.
NBA got big. Right.
Kyrie, was he
we
wrong?
all know the NBA got huge money. So the NBA has the ability to make stuff go away, which I guess they trying to.
Right.
And it looks like it's working. But that's not right, man.
It isn't
right.
It's not right. It's not, and again, let me be clear about this. I am not defending John Gruden. John Gruden got what he deserved. Only point I'm trying to make is somebody else deserves something too. They're like some other people should be coming down in this scandal with it. Like even Derek Carr, the Raiders quarterback, he was saying release all of the emails, and I agree with him.
Yeah,
I agree with him because other people should be falling with this too, but for whatever reason they're being protected.
Now, here's my thing. First off, if I was Washington, I would clear the whole damn team out because y'all hit the hat trick as far as I'm concerned, as far as staff go. Y'all got drugs flowing around. Y'all got homophobism, racism, chauvinism.
Women, right.
Yeah. Throw the whole damn team out. Secondly, yeah, anytime you got the FBI or whoever in your case, whatever, throw the whole damn team out. But secondly,
make Dan Snyder sell. Make Dan Snyder sell the team just like like the NBA forced
the guy
Clippers,
from LA.
yeah, the Clippers. Oh man,
God, Sterling.
Yeah, like they forced Donald Sterling to sell, forced Dan Snyder to sell.
Okay,
Well, they got to wait until this case is
but-
over because there's certain
But
emails
here's
they
the
probably
thing,
can't
though, dog.
release because of the legality of the situation. So it might be some deeper shit going on. So
Probably.
wait until the case is closed.
So, bro, we gotta hold on. We gotta be realistic, though. Okay, so if we say throw out the Washington Redskins, which I get, but
We
you
can't
mean
call
to
them the
tell
Redskins.
me
That's
that-
racist.
right, the football team.
Yeah.
But you mean to tell me that the Arizona Cardinals or the Cincinnati Bengals or the Baltimore Red, like nobody got no bones, nobody got no
Right.
skeletons?
No, I agree.
Like,
I agree.
So to me, it's like, wait a minute, are we really? I guess my thing is this. This is to me is who is Deep Throat? That's the question to me. Who is Deep Throat? Okay, the FBI came out with an investigation, and out of this investigation, you uncovered John Gruden email.
No, that's the only thing they released. That's
made
probably
them
all they
public?
uncovered.
Right. Well, it was the
Who
Wall
made them
Street
public?
Journal.
Because,
The Wall Street Journal.
Because whoever made them public only made John Gruden's public.
Right.
You've seen them all, but you mean to tell me that the only one you saw was John Gruden? Come on, man.
I don't think anybody
that's the
believes that.
There's a difference between legality and racism. So
Yeah.
they can release if
Yeah.
you say some racist stuff, they can release that.
Right.
But apparently, rich people are doing drug deals over emails at work. So just wait until the case is closed. I've never done that or known anybody to do that.
So
But
let me ask you this question then. So are we satisfied with only John Gruden being exposed, or are we willing to say, hey, we're not going to expose everybody else, so let's give John Gruden his job back?
No, we'll
No,
take your
no,
sacrificial.
we're not.
We'll take your sacrificial
No,
lamb.
no,
That's
what I'm
what we're
Exactly.
gonna
saying
do.
No, that's what it is. Because
We'll take
you're
the
right.
sacrificial
That's exactly
lamb.
right. We'll take the sacrificial lamb because at the end of the day, the Browns are 3-2. We got a great season going here. Let's go Browns. You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep this moving. And speaking
So
of
if you
which,
John Gruden, what do you do? What do you do if you John Gruden?
hey, I hope you were saving your money, buddy.
File for unemployment. I hear it's jumping.
Keep
them ramen noodles popping, cuz.
Walmart is
If you
hiring.
John-
You know.
if
You better get the
John
wave in that
Gruden-
motherfuckers.
If you John Gruden, don't you sue the league?
No, for what?
You can, but you won't win because just because nobody else got sacrificed, it doesn't mean you didn't deserve what you got. So you can, but you won't win.
That makes sense.
If you want to come to Ohio, John Gruden, Brush High School will take you. We won't ask no questions.
All right.
But hey, check this out though.
You'll end up coaching USC.
No. Let me tell you something. You will not hear his name at the collegiate level, the professional level. He's done. But hey, with that, you know, it's so much happened this week. We got to move on to that Browns-Chargers game. Very entertaining game, but some controversy came out of it.
Why you bringing up old stuff?
We got to talk about it because there was, again, wildly entertaining game. But leaving that game, the question that kept running through my mind is, does Coach Stefanski trust Baker? Because I feel like at the end of the game, he took the ball out of Baker's hand, through play calling. He took the ball out of Baker's hand and didn't show the confidence in him to just be a quarterback and win the game.
Yeah, so I 100% do not agree with your take on that. Now,
Explain why you don't. I just explained. I just said why.
I'm about to.
Okay.
I'm about to, because I think that what your take does is deflect from the issue that the problem, if there is a problem, and I'm not sure there's a problem. I think that people that are caught up in the moment think there's a problem, but if there is a problem, the problem is with your head coach. Now, again, I don't think that there is a problem, but I don't think that the Browns are going to the Super Bowl. So I think that the Browns are a team that have taken the next step, and now they're a step away from being a serious contender. I don't think that there is a problem with the Browns calling draw play on 3rd and 9. As a matter of fact, I don't think it was a bad call. As a matter of fact, when Baker Mayfield was in his press conference, he said nobody had a problem with it when we used it right before the half the week before. So I don't.
It's a difference between using
agree.
it at the half and using it with a minute and 30. with 3 minutes left on the clock and a 1 point.
What,
lead.
it's a different 9 yards? Because
It's a different situation. In the first half, the game is not on the line. With 3 minutes left and a 1 point lead, and a team that has just scored 21 points on you, it's a different situation.
So that's why I say the coach, because that was the coach's calculated risk. Okay, they're not expecting the draw play. Kareem is beasting. I'm going to try to sneak and get Kareem. So, again, I don't think it's a problem that –
I don't think it's a problem per se. I don't think it's a problem.
I just think that it was a bad call.
Let me tell you something. When I watch the NFL and I watch good quarterbacks, and when I watch great quarterbacks, so there's good quarterbacks and there's great quarterbacks. And this is the difference. Great quarterbacks are able to put defenses on their heels. And you know how they do that? They do that by manipulating the matchups. Okay, I see that you guys are in man coverage, so I'm going to take my best receiver. I'm going to put him in motion to where he gets matched up with a cornerback or somebody. I'm going to set him up with a matchup where I know he's going to win. It's like when you're a great quarterback, everybody knows who the ball is going to. The question becomes, can you stop it? Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Joe Burrow, and Jamar Chase. It's just like he's coming to him.
Leonard Fournette at the end of the game when they had Brady?
Totally different situation. Totally different situation.
They was trying to close out the game.
No, they closed out the game with a pass to Antonio Brown. That's how they closed out the game to get a first down.
What I'm saying is, okay, but on second down in the Browns game,
I'm not saying you don't run the ball, but again, the point is to close out the game when they really needed that first down. It was Brady to Antonio Brown. Remember, and he just got the first down and he stumbled and went down because again, it's just about running the clock out. You just need first downs at some point. And when we had the ball back with a 1-point lead and a little bit over 3 minutes left in the game, all we needed was a first down or maybe two, and the game is over. So, look, that's in the past.
If he lost confidence in Baker, wouldn't he have not thrown the ball on second down too? Wouldn't he not have called a pass play on second down?
No, that would have been the time to call it on second down because you're probably going to run on the first play anyway.
So
again, I think that at the end of the day, this is Deion Jackson's opinion. Okay, Kevin Stefanski has only been a head coach for 2 years.
Who's Deion Jackson?
Kevin Stefanski only been a head coach for 2 years, and so as he's only had 15, 20 games of play calling. When he's been a head coach for 5 years or something like that, maybe he gets more comfortable, but I don't think that there's a problem with him calling a draw play on 3rd and 9 because if you pick it up, you're a genius. If you pick it up, the clock keeps running. If you keep it up, it's a thing. If you throw an incomplete pass, the clock stops and now you turn over the ball. So I don't have a problem with it. I just think that the only reason why everybody has a problem with it is because these huge expectations of this second-year coach winning the Super Bowl. And I think that that's the unrealistic part of it.
So
if he sneaks up on you and win the Super Bowl, then yeah. But to expect him to win the Super Bowl, I think that's where the problem is.
I'm not even talking Super Bowl. I think what for me, it's not about the coach. It's about the fourth-year quarterback. And just wanting to see him get to that point where, again, he's dictating to the defense, where he's manipulating the personnel out on the field to get the matchups that he wants and then executing. And maybe he's just not there yet. Maybe he's just not there yet.
Your original statement was that he lost confidence in Baker.
That wasn't a statement. That was a question. I posed that as a question.
Yeah, right. So I'm saying I don't think he lost confidence in Baker because if he did, he wouldn't have thrown on second down.
Okay. Well,
I feel like if you were going to throw at any time, it would be on second down because third, after that 3rd and 4th, you're under pressure. So
and I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I agree. I do agree with your logic. Yeah.
I just don't think you run on 3rd and 9 with the game on the line if you trust your quarterback.
You could do that shit when you have a Nick Chubb and a Kareem Hunt. You could
3rd and 9 with the game on the line.
Okay,
that's throwing down.
How many yards per carry does Nick Chubb average?
So at some point, and again, I think he averages like around 7 or 8 or something like that. But at some point, it's not about analytics. It's just about football and you playing pitch and catch. Because it is at some point, like I said, Tom Brady had a very similar situation. And what did they do? How many yards did Leonard Fournette have in that game? But in
You're
3rd down,
Baker to an elite quarterback now.
That's the whole point I'm trying to make. I said Baker is a good quarterback, but we want and we expect him to be great.
He's a
and to be great, you have to get to that point where you can manipulate the personnel that's on the field to get the matchups that you want. Again, I didn't say throw an 80-yard pass. We're talking about 9 yards.
Right, but you said this isn't about analytics. Our whole staff is based off of analytics. That was the whole thing about them coming to the Browns was they're based off of analytics. And secondly, I'm gonna say it, Baker's a average quarterback that does good things from time to time, but I would never compare him to anybody. He's a fit. We're as Cleveland for the first time have a quarterback that we know can complete a pass.
Well, that's a problem then because again,
I'm not asking you anything. I said complete a pass.
When I say
I'm not scared when he gets in the pocket.
When I say it's a problem, again, I think it comes back to is he a good quarterback or is he a great quarterback? And again, maybe he's not great yet, but again, that's the question: is he good or is he great? But hey, look, we got to move on from the Chargers, okay? Because tomorrow we got to deal with Kyler Murray. and it's a lot going on in that game because of injuries, because of COVID. It's just a lot going on. It's a lot going on.
A lot.
Nick Chubb is out tomorrow. Nick Chubb is out tomorrow.
We still got Kareem Hunt. We still got a fierce backfield.
Yeah, I believe that we still be able to run the ball. I mean, don't get me wrong. You don't replace a Nick Chubb.
Yeah, you can't. That's an all-star player.
Juice is back.
That's gonna make a
big
difference.
That helps.
So tomorrow is a huge game. Tomorrow's a huge game, and it's more huge. It's more huge just within Cleveland, in my opinion. But it's a huge game because if the Browns lose tomorrow, y'all are going to kill your quarterback and kill your coach.
You can't say that because you can't say that because you got to see what happens.
I've lived in Cleveland for 50 years, 55 years.
It's not the same thing.
I know it's
It ain't been like this since Tim Couch. It's not the same thing.
If they were to lose, I think it's more about how they lose. Because if the defense can't get any stops, of course they're gonna kill Joe Woods. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If Baker throw 3 interceptions, they're gonna kill Baker. So it depends on if they lose, how they lose. But to me, more importantly, the fact that they're going to be missing their head coach, and his name escapes me right now because of COVID, the COVID protocol.
We've already been there. I don't feel no sympathy.
I don't feel no sympathy, but I think that really tilts the scale where we're expected to win tomorrow. I think we're expected to win because of they're missing their head coach, they're missing Chandler Jones, they're missing their center, they're missing their tight end.
Is Jadeveon Clowney back? Because he's very important.
Well, he practiced this week, but we don't know because he practiced last week and then was a game time scratch. So we don't know for sure if he's going to play tomorrow.
Because
he definitely makes a difference.
Important. He makes a big difference.
He definitely makes a difference. But let me say this too in terms of the defensive line and making a difference.
Speak on it.
Malik McDowell, he said after last week's game, because if you guys don't notice the pressure that he's putting on from the interior line, he's a beast in there. And he said, because I don't know if you know his story. He was out of football for like 2 years. He did some time in prison. But now he said last week after last week's game, he's like, I got my legs under me now. You know what I'm saying? So, and he was already beasting. And it's like, you got your legs under you now? Okay. He's a problem. He's a problem. Because when you can get pass rush from the middle of the line, that is hard to play that quarterback position when you got Miles coming from the end and you got pressure coming up the middle. So just keep that in mind and remember that name, Malik.
I think the Browns are going to win. I think they're going to win because of the Cliff Kingsbury thing. But I think the most important thing is I just think that you have to start getting the ball to Odell Beckham. I put that on the coach. I know I'm the only person on the whole planet that puts it on the coach, but I put it on the coach.
You are the only person. And when it comes down to maybe Kyrie, I don't know. We haven't asked him.
And what it comes down
it's
to
on the coach.
Is the Browns, what the Browns are supposed to be, the only reason why the Browns are supposed to be what they're supposed to be is because they have Odell Beckham. That is the only reason. Now, I get it. You got a good running plane. You got a good running game with Nick Chubb. I get it. You have one of the best players in the NFL with Myles Garrett. I get that. I get those two. You have a very good player, Nick Chubb. You have an exceptional elite player in Myles Garrett.
Well, you're right offensively that OBJ and Nick Chubb are our two elite guys. When it comes down to in the NFL is you cannot win in today's NFL with a dominant running game because the games in the NFL come down to the fourth quarter and it's the last person with the ball. But you run a draw on third down.
But if you think I said the problem is Stefanski. And so this is my point. This is my whole point. This is what I'm trying to get you to see. So in order to get Odell Beckham off, it's not incumbent on Baker to get Odell Beckham off. It's incumbent on the play caller. It's incumbent on somebody to say, okay, we're going to throw him slip screen. We're going to throw him this, that, and the third. Because he is the dynamic player on the offense.
He's a quarterback,
Nick
not
Chubb
a robot.
Is a dynamic. Nick Chubb is a dynamic player because he runs the ball, and he does take it to the house. But you can't depend on that in the fourth quarter. You have to depend on Odell Beckham to be the reason why you win.
That's why you don't run a draw on 3rd and 9 if you trust your quarterback.
So to me, what it comes down to is what I want to see tomorrow is I want to see what does Kevin Stefanski do, not Baker, what does Kevin Stefanski do to get Odell Beckham involved in the offense early? Again, not Baker. What does the play caller do to get Odell Beckham involved early?
So let me ask you a question.
That is the key
Let me ask you a question.
to whether you are a good team or not a good team.
Let me ask you a question. Do you remember that play where Baker threw a 10-yard pass and Njoku took it 77 yards for a touchdown?
Yep.
So Njoku got credit for a 77-yard touchdown. Baker got credit for a 77-yard touchdown. What did Kevin Stefanski's stat line say?
His is wins or loss. So it said he lost.
Okay.
Because he's responsible for the whole game plan.
You ever play Madden?
So it's not like Njoku's play was a fluke play. Like Njoku should have gained 15 yards. The dude fell and he ended up taking it.
No, he didn't fail. He tried to hit him with his shoulder, and the shoulder tackle. He tried a shoulder tackle, and that didn't bring him down. He didn't fall.
But you really don't agree with what I'm saying as far as it's up to the play caller to get Odell involved in the game?
No. I think you're missing what I'm saying. If you trust your quarterback, you put the ball in his hands to win the game. Justin Herbert had the ball in his hands. Joe Burrow has the ball in his hands. And we talking about second-year quarterbacks. You put the game in their hands and live and die with the results because apparently their coaches trust them. So, look, I don't want to continue to beat that dead horse, even though we continue to come back to it because I think it is big. We'll see how things transpire this week. But the thing about this Sunday's game, this Sunday at 4, the thing about that game is we got to turn around and we got another game on Thursday. Yes. We got the Broncos on Thursday. So before we even have another show, we're going to play 2 football games. And hopefully we talking about 2 W's because I think these are both very winnable games. They're at home at First Energy Stadium, and I think we should win both of these games.
More important than winning to me, that sounds crazy. So
yeah,
maybe that's not what I meant. But
you can take that back.
But I do want to.
We'll edit that out the show. We'll edit it.
I do kind of want to say it some type of way too. What is also important is that Odell Beckham becomes a playmaker in these 2 games. So 2 wins is good.
No, that's right though. I agree with that. I agree with that. 2 wins with Odell Beckham having 2 touchdowns at least and 150 yards between the 2 games is very important also.
All he can do is run the route.
I don't put that on Baker.
Right, exactly. I agree. All he can do is run the route.
That's what I'm like. I feel like you're putting too much power on what the play is. And
right.
If you ever play Madden,
at some point it's pitch and catch. Right. At some point it's pitch and catch.
I don't put that on Baker. I put that on Stefanski. I put that on the play caller.
Well, the play caller doesn't throw it and catch it. You feel me? Like, that's what I'm saying.
No, I agree.
That's why I asked, do you ever play Madden? Because when I ask Madden, he tells me what I should run, but then I go out there and I press square instead of circle. Sometimes it just turns out like that.
No. What I'm saying is when you have a dynamic playmaker, you give him reverses, you give him slants, you give him screens, you give him those things to get him in the game early. That's what I'm saying.
You give all that and you call all that, but the person there's one person pulling the trigger. There's one person pulling the trigger at the end of the day.
It's almost about that time. Let me just tee off with this, all right? This is why it's so imperative that all of our players are healthy and on the field, and that's what makes our team so great. Because if you double up on the wrong person, somebody's going to be open, and it could be catastrophic. Juice has been out. So all the attention's on Odell, which is probably why he didn't get the ball last week. Because they got
3 targets.
Right.
There's no excuse for that, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, there's some stuff he could have did, but what I'm saying is you don't think they got their corner, their eye on Odell?
When I say 3 targets, I mean, that's on Baker to me.
Yeah.
That's on Baker. Because, I mean, once you snap the ball, it's the quarterback who throws it.
You only got Miles on the line at points when they doubling up Miles when Clowney could have came in on the other side.
So let me ask you this: do you really think Stefanski is calling plays for Hollywood Higgins?
Yes, in that game, yes. Because
I don't.
And the only reason I say that,
I think they call plays, and you have a primary, secondary, tertiary, and I think Baker makes those decisions.
I just feel like Odell, if they were giving him more plays, he would have been the obvious target. Like, obviously, Odell can burn most people on the field, but I feel like they would have had him in double and triple coverage.
I watched the all 22 for that game, and Odell was open all day. It was so many times, even on that last 91 seconds when we had the ball, he was open multiple times. So it's like, why ain't you putting the ball in this guy's hand? Look, here we go again. Right, yeah, and I keep saying, I do not want to beat that horse. I do not want to beat that horse.
We could talk about this all day. Go ahead.
Right. No. I'm going to let it go because at the end of the day, so D-Jack, to your point, I believe for our offense to take that next step, it is going to be because we got OBJ involved in the offense and use our best weapon that we have. Right now, our leading receiver for the season has like 143 yards. That doesn't even make sense.
How many yards does Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb have?
Talking about rushing or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know that as a tandem, they're leading the league.
All right.
But still, after 5 games, your leading receiver has 143 yards. OBJ should have that in one game.
Oh, God.
He should have that before halftime.
Shit, Jarvis has probably had more than that.
No, he doesn't.
Really?
I'm telling you, our leading receiver on the Browns has 143 yards. Actually, our leading receiver is David Njoku. Our
tight end?
Yeah. Our leading receiver is Rashard Higgins, and he's got like 140 yards.
Holy Great Lakes Brewery.
And so
after
again,
5 games, it's just
is that on Baker or is that on Stefanski?
Who's throwing
I get it. You scared the.
Who's throwing it?
Wow. So if that's the case after week 8, would you still put that on the quarterback or would you put that on the coach?
Put it on the quarterback.
I'm gonna put it on the guy throwing it. I'm gonna put it on the guy throwing it.
Wow.
Only because that could be many reasons.
DJ.
But we're going to say, because this week there's no excuses because he got people on his left and he got people on his right.
Boom, boom, boom. Who else? Hollywood.
All right, y'all. Well, I think it's about that time.
Hollywood Higgins. Hey, but you know what? That's the show for this week. Again, we got the Browns on Sunday against the Cardinals at 4:05. And then on Thursday night, we got the Denver Broncos coming to town.
There's going to be a lot of shit to talk about next week.
Absolutely. We got 2 games to cover.
Shit, in an hour?
Right.
Yeah.
We only got an hour?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We may have to cut a special on this motherfucker or something.
And then on top of that, the Cavs are playing.
We just need to stop talking about the Cavs winning the playoffs, making it to the playoffs, and we'll have all time for both games.
Don't you put that hate on the Cavs.
Man, quit hating on the Cavs.
We spend too much time for a team that's not even worth even having a conversation about.
What a hater. What a hater.
Hey, just reality. I call them how I see it.
All right, hey, we'll see you all next week. And we talking sports.
Talking sports all in your face.
Hey, if you watch the broadcast, give us a like.
Yeah, smash the like button, man. We trying to get paid out here just like everybody else.
That's right.
Show us some real love.
We worthy. We deserve it.
Right. All right, thank you for letting us grace the airways. Bye, everybody.